Hey guys, welcome to episode 13 of the Equity Podcast. I'm Joe, this is Barrick, and today we have Krista on as a special guest.
New season,
Yeah.
new format.
On that topic, there's 3 segments today are the warm-up, where we're going to talk about changes to the 2021 game season and what the Open's going to look like for us. For our heavy lifting segment, we're talking with Krista about her 4 nutrition tips for the new year. And then for our cool down, we have some member Q&A.
Yeah, be a good one.
All right, so for today's warm-up, we're talking about the 2021 CrossFit Games season. There's been some changes to the format this year. The Open is coming down from 3 weeks to 5. It's coming down from 5 weeks to 3.
Yeah.
So basically, that doesn't change too much for us. Just a little bit shorter. 3 Friday night lights instead of 5. Starts on March 11th.
Yeah.
So same old, show up, do the workouts.
Yeah, I have a feeling with the shorter, right, going from 5 to 3 is a big deal.
Yes.
Right, and I had a feeling, if I had to guess, that there's going to be a lot of 2-parter workouts.
Yeah, the workouts are going to be a little different.
There has to be at least one of those.
Yep.
Where they're going to be testing you on your conditioning and on some kind of lifting or some skill work. I definitely think they're going to have that. And then also they have the different divisions with like you have people that are going to be doing it at affiliates, and then people doing it at home with like no equipment or at home in general. Mm-hmm. And that's going to put I'm really interested to see how they do that. I can see a lot of advanced gymnastics moves, like handstand walks, I think are almost guaranteed to be in it this year. Like it's been in it for the past 2 years. But I think it's going to be more prominent. Like it's going to be something where like you're going to need it in the first round. Mm-hmm. Whereas, to get to the handstand walks was really difficult in the past years.
Yep. And probably the coolest part of the new season is we're finally have an adaptive division. So we're going to see new workouts for the Open and for the games.
Yeah, that's really
for
cool.
adaptive athletes, which I think is really awesome.
Yeah.
Another big change kind of in like for some of our athletes that they can set as a goal, maybe not for this year, but maybe to like work towards, is the new quarterfinal stage is online, and it's for the top 10% of Open athletes.
Yeah.
Which some of the people here actually would have a chance of getting at least close to that.
So this is how much they're lowering their standards. I've been in the top 10% before.
Didn't want to say.
So their standards are going to, they're going down. But what it does, it makes it more accessible.
Yep.
Which is always really cool. Like I always loved doing the Open, and I think Krista liked doing it as well. And to where I was in the top 10, both her and Cole were both even higher than that. I think both of them have been in the top 7 or 5% actually. Mm-hmm. I have to go back and look at that data. So yeah, I think it makes it more accessible, and it makes it especially if you have that competitive itch.
Yep.
You can be like, well, before it's like, well, there's just no chance. But now it's like, well, hey, just getting to a quarterfinal. It's kind of like the age qualifiers.
Yep. You
know what I mean? Like getting to that age qualifier where now, like I get to showcase some of the higher skills that I have, or like in the Open, it's not as high skilled, generally speaking. It's a little heavier weights and a little higher skill at that next level, generally.
Yep. Absolutely. After the quarterfinals, there's going to be a semifinal stage, which is kind of going to be a blend of the regionals and the sectionals we've seen in the past. So not too much different there. And then the games are July 26th, I think they're scheduled for.
And I think that's when they were before. Like they were always like the last week of July, the first week of August.
Yeah, they've been moving farther. Like past year, obviously, was different. But,
and I assume we talked a little bit about this pre-show. I assume they're planning this like it's in the middle of a pandemic. You know what I mean? So they're probably planning like, all right, we're assuming nobody has vaccinations, nobody has anything. So they're going to be, but now, before they couldn't plan it. Like this takes a whole year to plan. Now they can be like, okay, we're anticipating we're in the middle of this, so we can plan for it a little bit better than before. Crap, we have to change everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a real hard thing to do.
Yep. And one last thing for the Open, our goal here is to everyone have fun, be safe, kind of check where you're at. If you want to be competitive, be competitive. just come Friday and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. So, the Open's definitely going to look different for us this year.
Yeah.
And, Chris and I and the other coaches, we haven't really talked about it a lot that much yet. But we definitely want to try and do it, and we're going to do our best to do that. And it's going to be different than it's been in the past years, obviously. But we want to give people that opportunity. Like, not everybody's competitive, and that's fine. But just do it. We talked about this on one of the other shows. Is it just gives you something to reach for.
Yep.
We get better when we stretch ourselves. We're like a rubber band. A rubber band is meant to be stretched. It's meant to be used. We get better. We grow when we stretch ourselves. I've never done a toes bar before, but now for the Open, it starts with a toes bar.
Yep.
So I just have to get that first one. And now this kind of will nudge you to get there. And that's why I love this so much. It gets you a little nervous, but that's a good thing.
Yep.
It stretches you.
Absolutely.
Kind of like doing a podcast for the first time ever. All right, guys. So we're sponsored today is Muscle Feast. We have this at the gym. So, if you need dextrose, you need whey, you need casein, we have it. The reason that we use Muscle Feast is because it's the #1 rated on Labdoor, and it works. It's high quality. It's relatively cheap. The value proposition is there. So super awesome. You can get it from us, or we have a link that we put out there a lot in our blog posts. So check that link out, or just ask us for it. And it helps us out. That's not our main thing. Our thing is about coaching and helping you get fit. But this is a supplement. It supplements everything else that you're doing. So we really appreciate Muscle Feast helping us out.
Absolutely. So for today's heavy lifting, we're going to talk with Krista about 4 nutrition tips for the new year. And the first one we have is mindset.
So these tips are going to be a little more involved than just like a tip of don't eat sugar, like something small and just little for you to do. It's really something, if nutrition is something you've struggled with for a long time, these are kind of more in-depth tips to help you kind of progress along that journey. So that mindset is really important because nutrition generally isn't a quick fix. It's going to take a little bit longer of a time, especially if where you started and where you are now is really different. It's going to take a really long time to get back to where you want to be. So having the mindset of being resilient, staying positive throughout the process, knowing that it may take a while, but just doing little steps at a time to kind of get you where you want to be is the way to go. Right now we're in a nutrition challenge, start of the new year. Generally with the challenge, you think, oh, it's 30 days, right? I have that set time. I'm going to do that planned time. I'm going to try to lose 5 pounds or whatever your goal is. But then after the challenge, you just kind of go back to your normal kind of habits and things going on. So then you've got, all right, got a good downward curve going. Then I go back up. Then we do another challenge. You go back down. But if you can kind of keep it more consistent along the way, and that'll kind of lead into our next one, you'll be better off long term.
Yeah, so like when I first saw these 4 tips, the first thing I was thinking was like when people hear tips and they're looking for quick tips, hey, sugar, whatever. But these are like overarching, like these are like high level tips, high level things that you need to do it. And I love the resiliency because it's so easy to mess up or to, after that challenge, like you said, to stop doing it. And it's so easy to get into that. But having that resiliency, making sure, hey, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get to where I want to be. And also knowing why you're doing it, right? That's going to help when it gets hard. Understanding your why is definitely going to help do that. And then also it's a journey, right? It's a journey. We're not just making that switch and getting to it. It's it's a journey in that process. It takes time.
Yep. The next thing on the list, which Krista kind of already alluded to, is consistency.
Right. Again, being consistent, just like if you're consistency in the gym, if you come to the gym for only a month, you're probably not going to see a lot of results right after that month. It's going to take probably a little longer, 3 months, maybe a year to kind of get that progress. So being consistent over that longer period of time is going to give you those longer long-term benefits where you're at, right? I'm trying to think what else. I think that's it.
Yeah, so the consistency, like I love it. If you're not consistent, you're not going to see results.
Yeah.
In the gym, if your goal is to back squat more weight, what do you have to do? You got to keep back squatting, right? If you want to lower your body fat percentage, you have to eat right, and you have to do that consistently. If you don't do that, you're not going to get there. And I find a lot of people, what happens with consistency, one is two things. One is they have the nutrition challenge like Krista talked about. You have that peak, you're that valley, you're going down, you're doing awesome, and then the weight comes back up, or whatever your trouble spot is. And what are you missing there? It's consistency. If you were to be able to keep that keep that mindset of a challenge year round, it could help you keep that and stay with it, right? We want to build things that are sustainable, right? Sustainability, consistency is key. But that being said, you're going to mess up, and you need to understand you're going to mess up. And when you do, that's fine. Just get back on it, right? Make sure you stay consistent. Like, hey, one time is fine. That's no reason to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right?
Right. Yeah, doing like when you do mess up, it goes back to your mindset, right? If you're not in the right mindset, you need to still stay positive, even though you had that one bad day. Be kind to yourself, right? Don't bully yourself. Oh, I did terrible, because it's just going to put you in the wrong direction. There's a comparison, right? If you're brushing your teeth and you forget to brush your teeth one day, it's happened, I've done it, and compare that to nutrition, right? If one day you didn't eat your vegetables at your meal, it's not the end of the world. We're not going to be perfect for every day. Just get back on for the next meal, eat your veggies, kind of do what you need to do.
Yeah. Next thing on the list, which kind of can help with the consistency portion, is ask for help.
Yeah, especially during this last year, I think this one is very important for a lot of people. Right, we've had emotional ups and downs with kind of everything that's been going on, COVID, political issues, all kinds of stuff. So asking for help, even if you're one that's afraid to ask for help, finding someone that's really going to listen to you and really wants to help you, it just gives you that accountability, that support. Sometimes having a coach or just like a nutrition coach is almost like being a therapist in a way, because you're listening to people's concerns and kind of what they're struggling with. So it's really important to have that support system.
Well, like asking for help obviously is super helpful. Like getting a coach, like everybody has a coach. Like professionals have a coach.
Yep.
They know a lot. Tiger Woods at his peak had a coach, not just one. He had multiple coaches, right? So having somebody else there to help guide you is just it's gonna help you get there faster, and then it's gonna help you keep those results. And then the other, I think, part of that is having a community, or having a team, or having a group of people that have similar mindset, similar goals as you, right? Being part of equity, I hope, helps everybody level their game up, right? Jim Rohn has that quote that he always that people always bring up, is you're the average of 5 people you're around the most. Well, if you're coming to the gym every day, you're around people that are working at trying to get better every day, and that's gonna level you up like automatically, right? If your 5 closest friends all back squat 225, the likelihood of you back squatting 225 next is going to go up, right? Yep. Or like if they're doing powerlifting, right? Or if they do CrossFit, you're probably going to do it. You're going to be the fifth one to do it.
Yep.
If 4 of your friends do drag racing, you're probably going to be doing it next, right? They just pull you along. So being very mindful of the people that you're keeping can help you get there, right?
Yep.
So yeah, love it.
Absolutely. And that also kind of ties back into ask for help. Here at Equity, you'd be hard pressed to not find at least one person that would do, be it if you wanted to try something nutrition wise, or if you wanted to work on like a new squat program or a pull-up program, you'll probably find someone here that'll do it with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want accountability and a buddy, like there will be someone here that'll be interested in doing that with you.
Like on Sundays, we have the Imam sisters, Kelly, Mandy, Carly's in there a lot, and Sam. Like they come in every Sunday, and they're doing some sort of Imam to work on skills and midline and whatever they want to get better at, and that. They just work together and they support each other doing it. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Our fourth and final point to kind of cap it off for us today is food is fuel.
I'm gonna butt in real quick. I was waiting for this part of it. I have a killer metaphor later on, so just be ready for it. It's gonna be awesome. All right, continue.
Judge that.
Food is fuel. So, right, our bodies need food to kind of survive and kind of work through the body, right? We want to eat for the right reason. If you go through those fad diets or pills, right, you're not giving yourself that fuel, that proper nutrition that the body needs to kind of work. So I'm all in when it's feeding. I'm always thinking about food, right? I'm always hungry. So eating for the right reasons, right? Try not to like get into that emotional eating or trying to help our body survive, right? So think of it as a car. So if you have a super nice car, we're not going to say Tesla because that's an energy based. We need some fuel based cars here.
I mean, Tesla still needs energy. It's just a different type.
Well, a different type. Well, it doesn't go with my like diesel and mid-grade and premium gasoline issue here. Anyways, so you've got a super nice car. You really want to take care of the car. Generally, we're going to say it's not a diesel car, okay? So think of the diesel as your processed food, right? Your sugars, all your kind of fried foods, just everything that's kind of more processed, right? You're not going to want to fuel your car with that because you want to take care of it. And then you've got the mid-grade fuel, which is kind of a little bit better if you've got some processed like grains and stuff still in there. And then you've got your premium fuel, right? This is going to be your whole foods, kind of really trying to fuel that body with the proper nutrition that we want. So think of your body as a car and wanting to give it the right stuff for it to maintain itself for the long term, right? The better you take care of it, the longer it's going to last.
So important. Like you put good stuff in, you're going to get good stuff out. You put bad stuff in, you're going to get bad stuff out. It's so important. And I think one thing that we can also start talking about when we start getting to the higher level, right? We have the and it's not that diesel's bad. It's just a diesel's not meant for a gasoline engine. You could do the reverse, like, hey, I have a diesel car.
Right.
Like, all right, the diesels are good, the gasoline is bad, right? It doesn't matter. But so we have the different grades. I love that. But let's say now I want to, like, I'm eating really good and everything, but I want to get that extra NOS boost. Boom. I just want to take off, right? Yes, nailed it. Right, that's something where we can start talking about nutrition timing and making sure that, hey, am I getting the right foods at the right time, right? So making sure to get that your protein and carbohydrate immediately after working out, making sure you're getting a starch in the meal after you work out, right? That timing stuff can be that boost that takes the regular, that premium gasoline to the next level. Mm-hmm. So nailed it.
It's spelled wrong.
Whatever. I was thinking of network attached storage.
I think you had it spelled right the first
Knox.
I know it's
Anyway.
I know Z maybe.
So I'm going to hop in for Joe here real quick. So like Can you just kind of like give us like a quick 30-second overview of like your nutrition tips for the year?
30-second overview. Right, it's really quick, right? Just finding that right mindset to get into that journey, that process, right? And then being consistent with the habits across the way, right? Finding your why do I want to reach this goal, right? What is my goal? Kind of right, if it's lose 5 pounds to get healthier, leaner, right? Finding somebody that's going to help you along the way. You can come to Equity if you need us. And then, right, just eating the right foods, right? That's kind of getting into the habits and into your nutritional journey, what you want to fuel your body with.
I mean, finally, just to wrap that up, on top of that, great 4 awesome tips. If you ever have any specific nutrition questions, if you want to take your nutrition to that next level, reach out to Krista. We do one-on-one nutrition work, and it's something that can, like, when you start hitting that plateau, a lot of people, they start seeing these beginner gains when they first start the gym, and then they start plateauing and they're wondering why. That answer is usually nutrition. And we don't know what we don't know. So just ask, shoot us an email. Hey, this is what I'm looking for, and we can, help you out.
Absolutely. All right. So for our cool down today, guys, we're going to go over a few member question and answers. Our first one comes from Heidi Jin. She asks, "How do I get a darn pull-up?"
And so usually I paraphrase these. I did not paraphrase this. This is literally what she said. How do I get a darn pull-up? So I'm going to talk about 3 things. The first one is the least amount of work, and it would take the longest. And that is just focusing on it. And this, like doing stuff on your own. Hey, what do you have to do to get a pull-up? Well, you need to get stronger. So, start doing some pulling and pushing exercises. Increase your upper body strength by doing some stuff at home. And like during the workouts, focus on those things. So for example, let's say the workout calls for kipping pull-ups, and and we're modifying it for jumping pull-ups. So it's like, hey, I really want to get a pull-up. Can I do ring rows instead to really work on the strength versus the breathing? Absolutely, I'm going to have that. Like if you have a specific goal like that, the coach is going to help you get there. So I think that's the first one. The second one is getting a program to work on it. So having some guidance and have something to follow is going to help you get there faster. So this could be something that you find online, or it could be something where you come to one of the coaches. The coaches would be more than happy to help you, and that's where you can get a little more personalized. Like one of the Equity coaches know where you're at and what equipment you have, and they know a little bit more about you, and we can get a very specific program that you can do 2 to 3 days a week to help you get that pull-up faster. And then finally, getting some personal training. This is kind of like the first one, but I'll add it a little bit more. Just spending half an hour, once or twice a month can help you get there faster, and pair that with a program that can get you there even faster. The question is, how fast do you want to get this thing?
Yep.
Would you 2 add anything to that?
I agree with everything you said.
That's about right.
That first time for everything.
Our next question comes from Nate McDonald. He's asking, how do you get out of your own head when you're struggling?
So I did, this is funny. He emailed or texted me this, I can't remember, but I did paraphrase this one, but usually I paraphrase it more funny. I paraphrase this one less funny. This one, I'm pretty sure there was a curse word in it, and I was like, we'll take that one out. Darn may not have been darn. Or no, it was darn maybe. So, and I think what he's talking about when he sent this question in was he had, I think it was on a clean, where like he could clean 185, but as soon as he put 195 on a bar, he was having problems. He's talked to me about that before. And then there's another thing that he can do is where he gets into his own head of he's not good enough as well. Or like I'm going to struggle at that. or I'm this is really hard for me. I think there was two of those questions in there, and I think both they can have a similar answer. And the one is relax, like we're just working out, and just kind of let that. Understand that you're just working out, and it's not a big deal. You just need to relax and get it. And so when it's a hard movement, I just can't get that second toes bar. Just relax and then just do it. Just go for it, and that helps a lot. Like whenever I do the skill clinics, everybody makes fun of me because the cues that get people that movement is I tell them something really silly. And what it does is when I tell them something really silly, they relax and then they just go for it.
Yep.
So for example, Michelle was having problems with her toes bar. And the problem was she wasn't getting back far enough in the lever. So what I told her to do was to move her ass. I was like, Michelle, move your ass. And you know, I said it just to be funny, but I wanted her to get farther back in that lever.
Yep.
And that helped. And then the other time I told her, Michelle, I just need you to try harder. You're just not trying hard enough. And she was trying plenty hard, but she wasn't giving the effort that the movement needed to get there. Yep. She just needed to try. And as soon as I said those things, she got it. And that's and what was it? It was she started laughing afterwards, and she just went for it. And being able to do that, I think, helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Any struggle? Mine? Just get Barrick to yell stupid stuff at you. That's how you get better.
I mean, I've had that happen to me a few times, so experientially.
And there's so many ways to take that question too.
Yes.
Like you could take that question in 100 different ways.
I think what I would add is like if you don't get that toe to bar, that's fine.
Right.
Like you're not like a worse person for not having that toe to bar. Doesn't mean anything about you. That's I think that's the only thing I would add.
You have more self-worth than getting a toes bar or being fifth in a workout. You have more self-worth than that.
Those are infinitesimally insignificant things in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
That's it for us today, guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you for Krista for coming on as our first guest. We have some fun stuff planned for this year, so stick along.
Season 1, Season 2, Episode 1, Episode 13.
If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, YouTube, follow us on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. And if you have any suggestions for the podcast, get in touch with me and Barrick.
Yeah, you have any questions or any ideas, let us know.
Absolutely. Thanks.
See you guys.